Welcome to the World Pool preview for day 2 of the championships at Royal Randwick. Bet with the World with the World Pool. I'm your host, Ben, joined by Alex Donnelly. The World Pool will be in play for all 10 races at Randwick this weekend, which includes the listed and group events and features the 4 Group 1s on the card. It's going to be another cracking day of racing, so let's get straight into it. Alex, what's the track conditions for Saturday?
Well, importantly, Ben, it's your Bucks day, so this is going to be the best thing about it. We'll be betting all day with the World Pool, of course, but rail in the 4-metre position, which they were getting off the fence last weekend anyway, so it's good. The rail true is probably going to be near where that worn ground is from last weekend, but it is Sydney, and I preface this by saying there's no rain on the radar as of yet.
Yes.
We may turn up on Saturday morning and it's raining, but right now I've done form for a good 4, soft 5, soft 6 as we're recording, but they've obviously put a lot of water on. They've had the rain across the weekend, but hopefully it's just like leave the taps off, let it dry out, and we'll get good conditions for racing this Saturday.
Which will be great for racing and for the card of and the horses, the quality that we've got on Saturday.
Well, yeah, you don't want to see a day sort of like this ruined, I guess. But not ruined is the wrong word, but you don't want to
Affected.
you want to see every horse get their opportunity. And I think being on a soft 5 or a good 4 without any sort of artificial watering is the best way to play. And hey, we got 10 races to bet in, well, I'm going to avoid one of them, but it's a nice long day, which is good. I like it. The first kicking off before midday now that daylight savings is over. This is great.
Yeah. And we'll kick it off with the first, race 1, the 1,600-metre Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool Fern Hill Mile.
It's a lot of words, and I'll say it in not so many. I'm not betting in this race. Like, 2-year-olds getting out to the mile for the first time. Like, the form comes from sort of here, there, and everywhere. Like, you're having a look here. You've got Hydro Bomb as one of your favourites coming off a midweek win at Sandown, and horses in the market got absolutely spanked in the Ballyou. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to have a bet here. I want to see what the market does with Staditza for Zach Lloyd and Tom Charlton. But other than that, I really don't want to be too much involved. We may learn something out of this race for the Champagne next weekend, because World Pool racing does continue next weekend for All Age Day as well. But also maybe have a look at Salan as well, because we'll talk about a horse that beat it later in the card. So they're probably the 2 I'm looking at, but no bets.
Might be a good one to watch and see how the track looks as well.
Yeah, it might be, just to see if there's any, I guess, sort of kickback or anything going on there as well. But you're not going to get much of a guide as far as a bias is concerned with these 2-year-olds, unless something goes a million miles an hour in front and just holds on. But we won't get much of a read on the track. It'll just be good to see how it's playing, I guess.
All right. Race 2, the 1,400-metre Bisley Workwear South Pacific Classic. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a good race. Sort of bit of form from everywhere once again. The main lead up being the Derby Munro, but I'm looking aside from that. I'm going to have a look at within the law here. The Iron Filly here just runs in absolutely everything. First up in the birthday card, you'll see it runs 5th, but go and watch the replay as well. That last 50 metres was absolutely flying and probably needed a gap to run sort of maybe 3rd or 4th, but just ran up straight up backsides late. Last preparation, got thrown in the deep end of the King Charles. It was only beaten 3.5 there. I know it only had 48, but you're beaten 3.5 lengths by Chow Wolf and Mr. Brightside. Like, you should be taking care of him in a South Pacific. I think from barrier 13, she's going to have to go back, so we're gonna be giving him a bit of a head start here. But you just look at the races she's running last preparation as well. They just ran her in absolutely everything. She's beaten a length in the flight stakes as well. She's going to run the trip out, no problems at all. I think she was good first up. Looking at that different forms, I think that Derby Munro form's a little bit how you going. The winner was a 100-to-1 shot. So we'll look elsewhere. But I think within the law may be good odds as well, because you have a look around within this race. Regal Award was really well backed late last preparation in a Carbine Club, which was also a World Pool day there. So punters know that horse. They know Chad Schofield. And then, of course, they'll find in where J-Mac's going at some stage as well. So I want to bet around this, bet around most of the outside form here. And we'll go with the filly, even though she's really not well set up at set weights and penalties.
Sounds good. On to the next, race 3, the 1,200-metre Tab Percy Sykes, the Group 2.
Yeah, this is a good race. It's a good 2-year-old fillies race here. Really interesting runner is Satono Glow. Obviously, won on debut, ran really good time at Warwick Farm, and then went to Flemington and won really well. Absolutely spanked him, smacked Salan, and beat Gin Twist. Now, I know it's not World Pool on the weekend, but Gin Twist is running it this weekend as well, and had been sort of really well tipped up before that last race. I'm looking away from it, though. I like the horse, but I think reaching out is the here and now filly down the bottom. She won on debut at the Randwick Kensington. She ran the fastest 8.64 and 2 of the day. 2-year-old filly doing that on debut, running really good time. She's going to go to the front. It's a Gay Waterhouse horse. She's going to be in front, out and away from everyone. And if there's anything sort of that's a little bit weak late, she's going to be running through that line. Just go and have a look at the way she ran through that line. Still that little bit of greenness that she showed on debut as well. So I think she can improve. I think she's been. It's a sense of timing for her as well. Like I do like the Charlton filly as well as a Tono Globe, but debut, travel to Melbourne, come back. It's a lot going on here. Whereas this thing's just walked across the road a couple of times.
Yeah, and barrier 3.
Straight out in front.
Yeah.
It's a straight run to the turn anyway. I don't get why people are, you might be caught wide. 1,200 metre run is a straight run to the turn. It's not a concern.
Race 4, the 1,400 metre, $1 million provincial Midway Championships final.
Yeah, this is a bit of a sore point for you with your horse having missed out on qualification. That would have been
unfortunate. Would have made the Bucks Day one for the ages, I reckon.
yeah, especially if you're on a nice 6th, pick up 14 grand. But look, this is one of the better bets on the card here. Matcha Latte absolutely tossed in at the set weights and penalties, as he was last start as well. Really well placed by Nasim Dilmi all the way through this preparation. First up, ran into Carrington, beaten by Sandpaper, then went to a pretty decent race at Flemington, the Elms. And if you got beaten there, well, if you won that race there, you pick up the money. But you can still run it. You could still run in that this provincial championships race at Hawkesbury. Sat up on speed there, absolutely smashed them. Won this race last year, 1,400 metres. It's one of its pet distances. 3 wins from 10 goes with another 5 placings in here as well. One of the misses, was in the Elms, and another miss was in the BRC Sprint, beaten by War Machine, who then went on to win a Stradbroke. So that form stacks up quite well. Barrier 12, he's going to go forward. He just needs that little bit of luck early. If he gets that, he'll be winning. I think he's really well placed here. I think Buffalo was really good winning first up as well. He won the Newcastle lead up. Barrier 17, though, probably going to go back to last, which is the concern here. But let's go with Ash Morgan and Matcha Latte. I think it's a good bready. And this will be a good one for your exotics punters too, because something at 50 or 60 to 1 always lobs into the first 4 here. So have a look at some horses who have been really well prepped up. Take advantage and look at the handicap ratings as well, because they really do come into notice here. Like a horse like Oakfield Jupiter on the minimum and %. They're both on the minimum, but they're weighted better than a horse like Octa Delago and a horse like Mogul Monarch. So the weights do come into play here.
What did you think of Wee?
Well, seeing as I'm going to France for my honeymoon, I've got to say yes. Put it this way, it was well placed last start in the birthday car. Just sit out the back and run home. It's worked its way through the grades well. I thought of the Hawkesbury races, it was the weaker of the 2 Hawkesbury fields.
Okay. On to race 5, the 2,400 metre Asahi Super Dry Australian Oaks, the first of the Group 1s. We're going to have a look at the speed map.
Yeah, the speed map will be up on your screen now as well. So it's a bit all over the place here because there's sort of no natural leader here. I guess after summer, it'll probably plonk itself on the speed up like it did last start in the Vinery as well. It's from gate 3. You think Profoundly from barrier 10 will go back. I wouldn't be shocked if Soverado from barrier 4 holds that position as well. And even a horse like Longlegs, now that's drawn barrier 1 after it drew out in the Vinery, had to go back. It could hold its spot as well. So a bit going on here. Stand My Ground led them up in the Vinery, which we're going to have a look at now, which is your main replay. As you can see here, Stand My Ground is in front with After Summer there. You've got I Hope A Wins, who's going in the 4 wide position. And then there's Nash in behind on Longlegs. But Belcheval wins this. The horse won off the fence here. But it's the run of After Summer that gets me. She's sort of taking an age to pick up here. Nearly gets run over. And it's like, she'll run sort of 5th here. And then gets inconvenienced again. Picks up the bit with 100 to go. While I Hope A Wins is down the outside doing its own thing. But look at him through the line. Like, you just want to be with After Summer here. Last preparation, ran 3rd in the VRC Oaks. I know I Hope A Wins has come out of winning the New Zealand Oaks, and the New Zealand Oaks has a great history of horses coming across and winning. Like horse like Bonneval it'd be a decade ago now. I'm showing my age here. But they've got a great record. But she just ground away in that race, I Hope Wins. So I sort of want to look around her. And Longlegs was just warming up late there as well. But being by Russian Revolution, there's going to be a query on the old breeding for distance there. And we'll take a look at the Adrian Knox last week. And, well, we were on Soverado last week. How are you feeling about here?
Pretty confident.
Yeah.
Looking good. Coming down the outside. And
Tommy says, see you later on Profoundly. And this is the other lead up as well. Horses out of this don't have as good of a record, but they can find themselves into the placings out of the Adrian Knox. It's 2 main lead ups. You've got to come out of the Adrian Knox or the Vinery. And if you're a Kiwi, you just got to come straight off the plane from New Zealand. But you only want to really be with Profoundly here. As you look at it through the line, absolutely strong late. I know La Mora was well back there, finished off well, will absolutely run out the 2,400 metres as well. So throw it into your exotics because it'll be massive odds. It's 2 runs this time in, have been third in a midway 64, and it ran fourth there, hitting the line well late. So the 2 you want to take out of that are those. And even Soverata, I think she just peaked on the run late. Chris Waller knows what he's doing with the fillies. Yep. He always runs his good filly in the far lap. She ran in the far lap along with Panova. So I think she's got a lot of ability. That's probably why I was on her last week, but I'm going to back after Summer each way after all of that.
Yep. Bit unlucky with that protest.
Well, I was on Belle Cheval, so no. I thought it was a great result.
I was on after Summer. I was kind of hoping for overturn, but...
It also beat by the autumn sun out of it, like an Irish-bred German mare. Like she ran out the trip in the spring in one of the fastest run Oaks of all time, which actually she's the only horse that's come out of it to have sort of over the staying distance to show something. Strictly Business went awful last week. I know Get a Good Feelings won over 12 and 1,600. We won't see it again over 24, 2,500, but she's a good filly. She's won the one race. And it'd be good. Dom Sutton, he's a good young trainer. He knows what he's doing.
Yep. Race 6, the 1,200 metre Arrowfield sprint for the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, well, this is one for the World Pool punters where Tempted's going to start like $1.30 on the World Pool for sure. So she'll probably win this race. I think she would have run well on the TJ Smith last week. She ran second in an Everest. She was a Group 1 winner last start over 1,400 metres. At the odds, I've just got to find something else, you know. The bet's probably the Quinella, her and Bayvocht. Bayvocht was good last start when he finally got back around a turn. Just just doesn't like Flemington straight. Like he's had 2 runs down there, done nothing. Got beaten a length and a half. In a Canterbury Stakes. And then they threw him in the George Riders. Like, we'll see. We need to have a run, see if he can potentially be a Doncaster horse. He's not. Chris Waller brings him back to the 1,200 metres here. He's got his stallion credentials on the line still, being a Golden Rose winner. So he needs to win a race like this as well, just to really sort of stamp himself as not a one-hit wonder. But I think the 1 and 9 Quinellas there. Grafter Burners obviously went off in the barriers.
Yeah.
I was in the betting shop at the in Hong Kong on Golden Slipper Day when it flipped over. Seeing punters boo a horse for being scratched is something I will always treasure. But 4 wins in a row, obviously had to go back to the trials, has had to come to Sydney, get scratched, go back home, trial, come back down. They've booked D-Lane. They've got the brow band on, which is basically the nose roll on the top of the head. It's just there's a lot going on here. Yeah. If he beats me, I'll cop it sweet, but I'm going to be backing the 1 and 9 Quinella here. I think Beedman's overrated, by the way. That's just me.
We move on to the first leg of the quaddie, which will be race 7, the 3,200 metre Schweppes Sydney Cup, second Group 1.
Yeah, there's your speed map. There's a lot going on here. Obviously, changing the guard to roll forward. You think River of Stars may take advantage as well. I know it got back some races last preparation, but I think you have a look at the Melbourne Cup run and the Caulfield Cup run, where it put itself on speed as well. Machine Gun Gracie was good last start winning the Epona. This is a big step up as well. And Let's Deal, well, just kept grinding in the Melbourne Cup qualifying race at last start as well. There's a lot of horses here who are just running in it because, well, they're going to be hurdlers in a couple of years' time. Solar Spain is probably the one that's a bit unlucky with the barra. They started about the 1,000 metres, so you got a lap and a bit. Yep. I love the Sydney Cup, but it's just this race is not a strong Sydney Cup. I just want to say that. And I think Mr. Monaco, I know he was good winning last start, but you sort of look through the history of Sydney Cup winners, and it's really sort of just gone downhill a little bit over the sort of the last 10 to 15 years. But it's well, I'm going to ask you, because this is your day as well. If you're having a bet in this race, where are you looking? So there's one I'm going to hone in on that I'm sort of pretty keen on, but then this is just me after saying the race isn't great. But this is a big exotics race as well.
Yes. Good for the World Pool.
Great. Well, great for punters as well, because there's going to be a lot of different opinions here as well, which is great, because then we could get better dividends across, your Winsy place, but also your exotic. So I'm absolutely going to throw a trifecta on. My bet in the race is a trifecta, as well as another each way bet.
Yep. There's 2 that I've been with pretty strongly for this campaign. One with the Melbourne form, being the Danny O'Brien Litz deal. I thought the first up run, when it ran second at Flemington, I think it was a very good run and was very strong through the line. I thought it was one to definitely follow the further and further it got. Danny O'Brien's obviously trained pretty well with 3,200 metre horses in the past.
He kind of knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
So I'd be looking to have a little each-way bet there on Let's Deal. And the other one will be Campbell Dino.
All right.
I thought it was a little unlucky. It was only last week. I think it's on the quick backup.
Yeah, half the field's on the backup,
on the backup,
normal.
Yep. So... has been really, like last prep, I think was running some similar distances and placing really well. Kind of has like Kieran Ma, sorry, yep. Kieran Ma, like obviously again knows how to train a stayer, so it's going to be well in. I think out wide it'll be able to get a bit of a soft, get up somewhere near on speed pretty softly.
Yeah, it won the Brisbane Cup 12 months ago too. Yep. So like TC on it, it's going to go forward. Like I reckon, like I know it says there on the speed map it won't be, but I reckon they'll put themselves on speed from 14.
Yeah. And we'll see how we go. I think as I said, I think it's been thereabouts enough that it'd be a pretty good bet. And again, one that I've been with. So be looking to see how it goes.
Only one horse is good enough to start 15-1 in a Melbourne Cup, and it's here. It's River of Stars. I know it's got 5 extra kilos from the Melbourne Cup, but this time in, beaten 10 by Autumn Glow. Well, yeah, fair enough. Was solid behind Vauban in the Sky High. Got out to 2,400 metres in the Tancred last up. We'll take a look at the Tancred when we talk about the Queen Elizabeth. Was strong through the line there. 3,200 metres, J-Mac, gate 6, just put it asleep in the 1-1. J-Mac will find the 1-1 there. As long as they don't go a million miles an hour, she can absolutely win this race because she was classy enough. She was so good in a Caulfield Cup, beaten half a length by half yours. She was beaten 6.5 there in the Melbourne Cup. But there's no half yours. There's no goody two shoes. That Kieran Ma Roaring Lion horse, whose name I've absolutely forgot right now, that Ethan Brown rode, was in that as well. They're not here. And then you look at how far they beat the rest in the Melbourne Cup. I think, this has been a well-prepped up plan from Waller. I think it'll run well. My also bet in the race is we're going to have a box trifecta. There's 6 horses in it, so hopefully we get it. 1, 2, 4, 10, 11, 13 as well. So in there you've got, as I said, we've got River of Stars, Campbell-Dino. Did I say 4? I hope I said 4. Soul of Spain, who's been running in all the weight for age races as well. Jujukibo, Mr. Monaco, and New Look, who was strong winning the Chairman's last week on the quick backup as well. So going there, yes, I'm leaving out Litsteel and I'm leaving out Piggyback. But you got to take some on, otherwise you'll be with absolutely everyone in this field. Yep. Valiant King, if it was a bit drier, maybe you could sort of throw him in. Because he ran 3rd in that Caulfield Cup, and then he was terrible in the Melbourne Cup. On
to race 8, the second leg of the quaddie, the 1,600 metre Moen Shandon Queen of the Turf Stakes.
One of the easiest speed
I was about to say, I think we know who's going to be on speed in this one.
Yeah, well, Pride of Jenny's going to lead. She's going to do a thing. Hopefully, there's a good bit of news here for Tonya Tobre. No geldings in there to take Pride of Jenny on, so that's great. Running in a Fillies and Mares Group 1. Look, she's going to lead. How she's going to come out of it 3 weeks after that brutally run Australian Cup, who knows? Like, she's the greatest dunno horse of all time.
Yeah.
I reckon I've backed her twice, and I think that she's been beaten both times. So I can't get a read on Pride of Jenny. What I know is Treasure of the Moment is back in the groove. She had to smack him in the sunline, and she did. She's ridden Pride of Jenny's coattails before. She's going to land right there once again from barrier 3. You think J-Mac will probably want to be a little bit closer on Lady Shenandoah. Problem is, J-Mac does not know how to beat Pride of Jenny. I know he did it on Via Sistina in a Cox Plate when Jenny was on the week backup. But you're on
she's a champion.
Via Sistina had a rocket strapped to her backside that day. J-Mac and Pride of Jenny are just like, it's his kryptonite. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, it's just one of the things he's not great at, and he is great. Idle Flyer is the one who could just improve out of absolutely, well, she's an improving mare, but she's a horse who could just explode here because she's been built all the way through nicely. She's by done deal out of a street cry mare. The cut in the ground's no issue. If they go quick, I reckon she'll enjoy it as well. We haven't seen her over further than a mile as well. She's got a good Randwick record, but I think Treasure of the Moment is the bet. Maybe a saver on Idle Flyer. If like a Lucy had drawn better, I'd give her a chance too, but she's gonna go back to last from there. But yep. It is the mile Randwick start, which is the best start in racing. You've got that long run to the turn, so they've got plenty of time to figure it out.
Race 9, the feature on the day, the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
Yeah, what a race. This is really interesting because obviously the barrier draw and the lack of Pride of Jenny, it's obvious. Lindemann is going to lead this race. Sir Delius will go forward. He is absolutely going forward from barrier 3 and has to put himself there. Autumn Glow lands in the 1-1. Just perfect barrier draw for her once again. Just bang, right there behind Lindemann with Sir Delius, depending on what Willow does if he wants to play jockeys. But Dubai Honor will go forward. That speed map's wrong. He will absolutely go forward. He will ride Lindemann's coattails, and then you've sort of got Wootton, Verney, and Aliana. I wish Aliana had drawn better because I just think she's going to have to go back to last now, which is just, as someone who wants to back her, it's a pain in the ass. But the positive out of this is There is a man that's on board that sometimes gets on in these big group ones and goes, you know, that plan we had, that's great. I'm throwing it out and I'm just going to do what I want. D-Lane in big group ones, he gets them right more often than he does wrong. And he's got the best out of Aliana before. Obviously was on her when she smashed them in the Derby last year. Yep. This Autumn Glow is the best horse in the country. Yeah. Best. I'll stay with best horse at the moment. We've only seen She's an Albi win. Yeah, she's won a Donny in a Randwick Guineas, but you know, you've won
smaller sample size.
Golden Eagle, Epsom, all the weight for age races on the way through. And we can take a look at the replay now. So I just remembered that I've got it. How good's live stuff. So here's Autumn Glow peeling into the 3 wide position and just absolutely spanking. Like, this is more just like, let's just watch Autumn Glow and really enjoy it, because it is the main lead up race for her, because she's the only one that actually comes out of it. Yeah. But you just see here, J-Mac says, whoosh gadoodle, here we go, see you later. And then you see all these Doncaster horses, even though they were well beaten, they all ran really well in the Doncaster. Look at them. Pericles, Headley, Granger, Gringotts were all great in the Doncaster.
That was a similar finish. If you take Autumn Glow out, that's a similar finish to what they had in the Doncaster.
Exactly. And so here's the thing, and I'm going to ask you this. 2,000 metres for the first time. What do you think?
I think it's going to be interesting, because it's just going to lead up to the, you know, if she stays...
Yeah, she started $1.05 on the ward pool there. Yeah. She'll start $1.10 on Saturday.
If she stays unbeaten, it's just going to be incredible to watch. And knowing that she can then get that 2,000 metres, it just adds so much depth to where we can see her in the future.
Yeah, bring on the Cox Plate with Calland again in the spring.
So it's going to be really great to see. I'm kind of with you a little bit. I'm a big fan of Aliana. I think she's had a really good prep, and aside from sort of the first up where she's once again just bumped in absolute superstars.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be great unlucky with the draw. It'd be good to see kind of where she settles and how she goes through this, given the pace and the speed that we've got.
We can take a look at her now. And so, like, Tommy Marquand on Dubai has taken off on the turn thinking, I'm just going to make this a stamina contest and beat you.
Probably similar to what we'll see on Saturday a little bit.
Maybe, but also forgetting that Aliana is one of the best Derby winners that we've seen in the past decade, and Paul Vauban's chasing as well. And then you can look back there for your Soul of Spains and your River of Stars for your Sydney Cups as well. But look at this last 100 metres.
It's a great fight through the line.
But I always thought she was going to get there from about the 200-metre mark, and does it cozily in the end. I love that they're coming back to this, because she's had the stiff test over the 2,400 metres. It's 2 weeks. That's okay. Chris Waller knows what he's doing. If there was any doubt on her, she wouldn't be running. 2,400 back to 2,000's fine. Dubai Honor, we know it's going to work as well. He's done it before. He's fine. I think if Pride of Jenny was in this, I would be confidently tipping Aliana in this race, because I think the setup would be so much better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think it could just turn into a jiggy jog. But it's also, this is the good thing about Nash. In the Ranvet, he led them up. We probably should have played the Ranvet as well. But he led them up, nicked off around the turn. It took Aliana all the straight to get past Lindemann. So it sets up for a really intriguing tactical battle. If the track's wet, Lindemann's got no hope. It needs to dry out for him to have a chance. But Nash rates these races so well. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Chris Waller says, or if Damien Lane says, it's the grand final worth $5 million. Let's take a chance. Because if I'm the owners with Star Thoroughbreds, I'm like, how are you going to try and maximize your chances of winning this race? Settling behind Autumn Glow
it's not going to.
Will not. Unless you are right on her hammer around the turn. If you're 3 pairs back last and she's in the 1-1 popping off around the turn, and you have to come around, a couple of horses like Wottenverny and Light Infantryman and the other Haggis horse, probably not going to run her down. If you're within a length of her on the turn, though, sets up for a really fun race. And who knows, Tommy could be off and gone once again. I think it's a great race. I'm backing Aliana.
I like it.
I'm a sicko.
And it's a good, if you like Aliana and you like anyone outside of Autumn Glow, you're going to get a price, and that's where the World Pool will come into play.
Well, this is great as well, because then it's like, how do you want to maximize your return on this? Well, you probably, you can back Aliana, but then you probably have the exactor of Autumn Glow to beat Aliana to get your maximum efficiency out of the race.
And the last race on the card at 5:10, the 1,200 metre Tresemme Sapphire Stakes, a Group 2 to finish us off. What are you thinking?
Yeah, good luck if you're trying to blast out near the last leg of the quaddie here, punters. Yeah, just, set weights and penalties for the fillies and mares over 6 furlongs. This is great. 14 horses. Going to go with the mare who returned in really good form this time in. I'm going against Gangster Grannies. I think she'll start really short on the World Pool. She's drawn wide gate beat her last start in the Star Kingdom as well. But let's go with Flying for Fun for Brycey Hayes and Zach Lloyd. I just thought was a really good return in the Morris McCartan, just sitting behind the speed, sprinting well. That had come after a good win at the end of last preparation in the Starlight, beating Barbara and Front Page. She's always had the ability. She was thrown in the deep end in the VRC sprint, was only beaten 5 lengths there on the wet track after she was probably a tragedy beaten at Flemington on the day one of the carnival. It's okay, I'll be over it one day. I just think it sets up well for her here. Bryce's horse is going really well at the moment too. She's 2 starts at the track for 2 placings. I think she'll go okay on the soft going. There's no worries about that for me whatsoever because she's trialled well on it before. I think she's in the zone. I think given it's Bryce Hayes and Zach Lloyd, we may get better odds than what the other horses in this field because Gangster Granny's probably going to start odds on. Splashback probably has a chance first up, but might be looking towards getting up to Queensland for the Stradbroke and races like that, which is also a World Pool race later in the spring. So I want to, and Monty Supreme may be a chop out as well, but he hasn't done a lot this time in and was beaten by Gangster Granny last preparation. So there's a bit going on here, but let's have a crack and we'll try and finish off each way of flying for fun.
Yeah. Trust Zach Lloyd, who's in a good bit of form at the moment.
Yeah, well, as his niece Zara Roberts says, Zach, you only win at Rose Hill. Start winning at Randwick, please.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. For me as well.
To get out in the last.
Just to prove Zara Roberts wrong. You want to prove her wrong. Don't worry about that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the World Pool preview. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, follow Punters' socials, and remember to bet responsibly. Thanks to the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Bet with the World Pool.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.